This is monopolar. So you can see it has one tip. So that's the mono part. And it has two buttons, and that's how the surgeon activates it. They're called cut and coag. And that's why when you go to your machine, you will see on the machine there's cut and there's coag. So you need to make sure both of these are turned up to the desired number. I would go around 20, unless it's a spine where they go up to like 30. Right, you also with mono need to check that this is green. What this is, it shows connection to the cautery pad. This is one of our cautery pads. So you must plug it into the unit. The reason for this is, because it's only got one tip, the electricity that's coming through there must earth somewhere. So the way it earths, because it doesn't have a second tip, is it earths through the actual ground mat through the animal. That's why it's really important that the animal is fully on this mat. It doesn't, obviously the whole animal doesn't have to be on the mat, but you need to have a good surface area of muscle. So like their hip and, areas like that. So make sure they are definitely in contact with that whilst you have the pen. And that's for monopolar. So mono and mat, they must go together. In theory, it shouldn't work if you haven't connected it, but I would never take that risk. Your second option is bipolar. And as you see, bipolar has two tips. Now, as you tip this together, tip these together, and you press the pedal, it allows the cautery to work. And then these just plug into these two holes down here and into this side. So you only need to turn this side up. With bipolar, you do not require a mat because the conduction is going between the tips. So the electricity is going from one to the other, whereas in mono, it's going from the tip of the mono down through the animal into the mat. What you do need for bipolar, though, is you need the pedal. So the way I try and think of it is bi is pedal, mono is mat. Bi pedal, mono is mat. Your third thing that you can plug into the cautery machine, but only into the newer cautery machine that you saw in the other video, is any of your types of LigaSure you've got. So these are often cut. As you can see, there's a blade that comes out of there, and they coag. And they coag at the same time, so they stop the bleeding. So they like cauterize and cut. This has a very special end to it, which will only go in the newer LigaSure machines or the newer cautery machines, and it can only go in one way. So you can't get that wrong. You do not need to use a mat with this particular one. Okay, you do not need to use a mat with LigaSure. You only need a mat with mono and a pedal with bi.